Jay hit the Dre Driller, and Todd counted 1, 2. Everyone stood up for the and 3, and everyone just, oh my god, and you didn't know what to do. Everyone started reaching for their streamers, started throwing streamers in the ring. I was like, oh my god. I was tweeting and I'm trying to throw streamers, I'm trying to take pictures all at the same time.
Assault and batteries, but my trunks, they ever ready. Assault and battery, if you scared, you never ready.
Okay, this is going to be my live review for ROH's All-Star Extravaganza 6, which took place in Toronto. Definitely a lot better than the last show I attended in New York. It was called Field of Honor. See, I forgot everything about it. Probably the worst ROH show that I've been to. But this one, quite the opposite. It was very fun top to bottom. There were a few little lag spots, but overall I enjoyed it a lot. Show opened up with a promo, and at first they changed the card so many times. It was called the Battle of like the Rising Stars. It was supposed to be Silas Young versus Cedric Alexander, and then you had another match. It was ACH versus Jay Lethal for the title, no time limit. So we find out that ACH did not show up, travel issues, so him and Jay Lethal wasn't going to happen. And then we had earlier in the day, you had Silas Young get injured. He's not going to show up, so they had Mike Bennett replace him, making Mike Bennett versus Cedric Alexander and Jay Lethal without a partner, or without an opponent. Had Truth Martini come out, cut up a promo saying, you know, ACH was scared, didn't show up. And then you had Cedric Alexander come out and challenge Jay Lethal for the title. Now, last time I checked, they made Mike Bennett versus Cedric Alexander, so the card just kept changing, and people were getting a little confused. And that led to the first match, was Mark Briscoe versus Hanson from the tag team, I guess, Hanson and Rowe. It was my first time seeing Hanson wrestle, and I can pretty much assure you it was everyone else's first time seeing him wrestle. He comes out. As he's coming out, people are still chanting "Man Up," because in Canada and Toronto, they love the Briscoe brothers. You know, these guys, these fans who come out in Toronto, they've been there since 2009, 2008 when they first went there. And it's the same constant people over and over again. So, big Briscoe brother crowd. Very, very fun opener. These two guys beat the hell out of each other. And Mark Briscoe came out the winner. A few good spots right at the beginning. You had just Hanson really showing that he's not anyone. He's just not a nobody. He did I think it was a suicide dive. He did a couple moves off the top rope. I was very surprised actually, and I was looking on Twitter, and even people were saying, you know, Hanson's a good guy, and people, I think, noticed by the end of the match. Then we had a PWG style match. You've had 4 teams: BJ Whitmer and Adam Page. A local team here in Toronto, the Monster Mafia, they're called. Ethan Gabriel Owens, Ethan Page is his whatever name. It doesn't matter who was in it. It was a good match. It was a very fun match, very PWG style match. The Streak with R.D. Evans and Moose, they came out victorious, 150 wins and 0 losses. That is about 5 times more than the Undertaker streak. More than 5 times actually, about 6 or 7 times more than the Taker streak. And but overall it was a very fun match. Your typical just guys go move, near fall, 1 2 3, roll up, 1 2 3. Bad Influence, which are now called The Addiction, versus Roderick Strong and Jimmy Jacobs, and it was fine. It wasn't anything special really. I really was expecting more. Even Kaz and Daniels, their whole run so far, I think is kind of under-delivered. These guys have come out of TNA really being the workhorses. Now they come into ROH, and it just seems like very, very average matches that they're having. Not saying that their match with reDRagon was bad, but tonight, I guess, maybe I was just expecting too much. Roderick got pinned, and they kind of teased a little bit of ascension in the decade. So I guess their Roderick face turn's coming up soon. The last match before intermission was AJ Styles versus Adam Cole. This match I was looking forward to the most, and started off just really Adam Cole being the guy who's very serious. He wants to get his spot back. Don't remember any of them almost getting killed, but I remember the main story being told is just Adam Cole's focused. He doesn't want to lose, and AJ Styles is just being AJ Styles. He's the champ. He kind of outdoes Adam Cole, and anything he does, he can do better. And there was one near fall where Adam Cole gave AJ Styles a German off the top, and then gave him the Panama, whatever it's called, like a capture German suplex into a pin. It was only a 2, and then AJ Styles hit the Styles Clash and won clean. And after intermission, you had Mike Bennett come out. Man, this guy, I always found him boring, and I think a lot of people did too, because no one cared about this segment. They were boring chants, and just, I guess they kind of make sense since people were still like taking a piss at the time. But the crowd didn't dig this at all. I don't know what you guys thought on Twitter, but it wasn't anything specially, just killing time, really. Had Jay Lethal versus Cedric Alexander. This was another very good match. Very well, live it was fun. I don't know how it was on TV. But then it just back and forth. You had Silesia come out, and she got kicked in the face for the second time. There was a couple spots where Cedric went to do a springboard, and Truth just swiped his leg, and it was a very, very ugly landing. But yeah, these guys really went at it. They did some stuff on the outside. Truth didn't take a bump. Normally he takes at least something to kill himself. But there was one near fall right at the end where Cedric Alexander hit Jay Lethal with something. I don't remember what it was now. But it was his finisher, obviously. Everyone thought it was 3. Everyone got up 1-2. It was literally like 2 3/4, the closest you can get. And you just get captured into that near fall. And then Jay Lethal just hit his lethal combination and got the win. You had the surprise of the night. Jay Briscoe versus Michael Elgin. Both guys, crowd was split 50-50. Just two dudes just beating the hell out of each other. Jay did a Jay driller from the apron through a table. Michael Elgin just slapped the shit out of him. And out of nowhere, he hit the Jay driller. I stood up, and it was like the Brock Lesnar Undertaker. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. And it was like everyone just gasped. It was almost like the Undertaker thing, and not as severe, but I don't think there was one person in that building that could have told you that, hey, I got my money on Jay Briscoe, because that was like, man, like everyone stood up, everyone cheered. It wasn't like we were in shock, but it was like you were in shock, but you were happy you saw a title change, and you were happy that it was Jay Briscoe. And the streamers started flying, and I was in shock, honestly. It was crazy. You know, I think the last title change we saw, the world title in Toronto, was when Steen beat Davey, and I don't think there's been one since then. And this one just really came out of nowhere. I think a lot of people expected Steen to win that night, but this one was just one of those title reigns that kind of, they make the match just to get through to a next bigger show, but they changed the belts. You know, I was trying to think maybe Elgin got injured or something, but I don't know. It was definitely a swerve, to say the least. And main event, Young Bucks versus reDRagon. Very, very, very fun match. I two-sweeted Matt Jackson as he was coming to the ring. That's probably the highlight of the night. Just first, it's not like one of those things where they do the first fall and second fall in a matter of like 5 minutes. It was like the first fall came, the Young Bucks were playing faces, reDRagons were heels. First fall came with Kyle O'Reilly smashing a hockey stick over Nick's back, and I think they hit the super kick into a brainbuster. Second fall was the Young Bucks doing just their super kick everywhere, left and right, and got the pin. And the third fall, ref was down. Kyle O'Reilly had Nick in an armbar, and he tapped. The ending I didn't like. It was kind of not very dramatic. It was like the ref got knocked down, he had him, no fight, no comeback at all, just another ref comes in, do you turn, and then he just tapped. It was like, you were like, yeah, he's going to kick out, and then he just taps, and it just brought the whole crowd right down. Could have done something different. And for that match, the whole roster was like sitting up in the stands. You saw Adam Cole, you saw AJ, Daniels, because they're all watching in the stands. It was pretty crazy. I think they know when the Young Bucks are wrestling, it's going to be something special. It was a good match. I would definitely say that was the match of the night. Shock of the night was obviously the world title change. And the biggest pops of the night, first half to go to the Young Bucks, second half to go to Jay Briscoe, and third, Michael Elgin. I'd say. No, sorry, not Jay Briscoe. First, Young Buck. Second, AJ Styles. And third, Michael Elgin. Yeah, that's it. Overall, good show. I'll just show you the stuff I got before merch stand. PWG 11, pretty much. I'm still actually, I keep all the DVDs I'm watching here. This is how far behind I am on this. I'm still on Mystery Vortex. So after that, I got the Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. And then this, and then Bola just came out also, so I'm fairly behind. All-Star Extravaganza 5, this is when their first time at this building and when BJ broke his neck. And then the show I went to with Miguel, Global Wars, New Japan versus ROH. So that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.